Today we're joined by Niani B, all the way from Detroit, USA. Niani is a natural hairstylist and the creator of a safe space for Black girls that never learned how to braid. It's a platform whereby she provides lessons and virtual classes teaching Black girls how to braid their hair. Welcome to Afternoon Express, Niani.
Thank you for having me.
For a lot of African women, we believe that our hair is our crown and that it holds a lot of strength of our identity. Now, when did your romance begin with your hair? And I believe that you self-taught to braid your own hair at the age of 12 and you were a pro by 16.
My love for my hair really came from having to learn how to do it myself. I grew up with locks, so I had locks until around the age of 12, and then I cut them off. And that's when I got braids for the first time. And I couldn't go to the salon every week. It just wasn't something that my family could do. So I had to figure out how to style my hair. And of course, the easiest way for me to do that was wearing it naturally. So I began reading books, magazines, things of that sort, just so I could learn how to style and manage my hair.
Tell us about the initiative you created, a safe space for Black girls that never learned how to braid, and why that you feel that you needed to create the safe space.
Well, even though I know how to braid, so I'm not that girl, I saw on social media a lot. I have friends, myself, and family members that just didn't know how to braid, and they would talk about how they were ashamed or, get upset when people would be like, how do you not know how to braid? Right. And so I knew that it needed to be a safe space. It needed to be a private space, which is why we started with the private Facebook group, because I wanted everyone to feel comfortable and know that everyone within the space was here to support them and was here to learn with them.
Now, something that I know myself, I kind of put as a goal that I never accomplished during lockdown. I thought to myself, I'm going to walk away knowing how to manage my afro, knowing how to give myself cornrows or braids, but still, Niani, I've come up with zero. So for yourself, why did you think it was so important for you to highlight this and destigmatize the shame around Black women that don't know how to braid?
Well, I don't feel like you lose your Black card for not knowing how to braid. Like, it's something that is a skill that some of us have and some of us don't have. And I feel like that's kind of the balance, but I don't feel like anybody should be ashamed. And I feel like everybody should have the opportunity to learn. And so that's why I wanted to teach. And initially, I really thought I was just teaching people how to braid. I didn't really realize until we were deep in the class that it was more than that, and that women were celebrating because they finally had the skill that they longed for.
And we've been touching base on the show with many professionals and creatives in South Africa to find out how COVID not only hit them, but how they've been able to adapt. Now, for you, working in a salon and having to become very creative, how have you made it work?
Well, salon shut down back in March. And so I started the class because I had to, one, figure out how to create some sorts of income, but then also to continue doing hair, because hair is something that I do every day. So I had to figure out how I was going to continue doing hair and keeping my life somewhat normal through COVID, while also practicing social distancing. And so now salons are back open. I'm back in the salon a couple of days a week, but I did not leave my students hanging. I'm still teaching. So it's really cool how COVID kind of forced me to get creative and figure out how to do hair virtually. And now that's something that I can continue throughout the rest of my career.
Niani, I actually want to touch base with some of those highlights and those students that you were touching on just now. What are some of the standout moments for you when it comes to one of your students, mastering the skill of braiding?
It's always touching for me because we have our private Facebook group when women post pictures celebrating their very first cornrow. And so we have our class is about 4 weeks long before we start over. So the curriculum is 4 weeks long. So by the end of the 4 weeks, you should have a clear understanding of how to create a cornrow. So usually sometime within those 4 weeks, the women post pictures in our Facebook group celebrating their very first cornrow. We actually had a mom and daughter post pictures practicing together. So the moms are in the group and they didn't learn as little girls, but now they have their little girls taking the class with them so that they're not that girl that does not know how to braid. And that's just really touching for me, just seeing everyone celebrate that they can finally braid and feeling like they've accomplished something really, huge for them.
What message do you have for young women and men out there when it comes to embracing their beauty and hair?
I would just say be comfortable with who you are and make sure that however you feel to embrace your natural beauty, your natural hair, that is something that you want to do. Wear your hair how you want to wear it and not think about what the world has to say and who says natural hair is presentable or whatever it may be. Just be comfortable with it and own it.
Ooh, owning it is what we're all about here on Afternoon Express. Thank you so much, Niani B, for coming through and sharing not only the platform, the safe space that you've created for women, but celebrating the identity and the crown that is on your head. Goodbye.
Thank you.
South Africa, please do head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express and let me know your skills when it comes to braiding or cornrowing your hair. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express.